What is Chicago? Chicago is in the Midwestern of the United States, one of the busiest transportation centers of the country. Called the Windy City because of politicians' nonsense. Early history. Chicago was covered in ice 20,000 years ago. When the Ice Age ended, trees such as oaks and maples started to grow. Also, bisons, elk, and deer came to eat. First Chicagoan. In the early 1600s, there was about 20,000 Native Americans living by the Great Lakes. Chief Blackhawk wanted to fight the settlers who wanted Illinois. His rival Chief Cuckoo wanted to work peacefully with the settlers. Founding of Chicago. Indians came here in 1670. Illinois became a state in 1818. Baptism Point du Sable was the first Chicago city. Railroads. Offices and warehouses were built nearby. In 1800, many trains across the United States stopped in Chicago. The Pioneer was the first train to travel west of Chicago. Industrial boom. The Great Migration caused thousands of black people to move to Chicago. Chicago was world famous for meatpacking in early 1900s. Streetcars were made because workers needed transportation. The Great Fire. It's been told that I cock-kicked over a lantern, but no one's for sure. 17,500 buildings were burned down. The fire department didn't hear about the fire until 40 minutes later. Chicago's World Fair. When opened, black people were not allowed in it. It brought new food like Quaker Oats. Had the first Ferris wheel and costed 50 cents to ride. Gold change. Capone killed anyone that got in his way. In 1979, Chicago had their first woman mayor. John Digley robbed 10 banks and escaped prison 3 times. The Jazz Age. Louis Armstrong joined King Oliver in Chicago. Chicago had one of the most exciting music scenes in the country. Jerry Roll Morton was a jazz pianist and band leader. Multicultural Chicago. In Pilotston, many Mexicans live there. There is a Chinatown in the south side of Chicago. Chicago, there's more than 130 languages spoken. Skyscraper. The Willis Tower is the tallest building in the U.S. Trump Tower is the newest skyscraper in Chicago. First skyscraper was built in 1885. Transportation. Here is one of the busiest airports. Chicago is cycling friendly. It's middle of the country and busy for transportation. Sports. Chicago's Bulls were founded in 1966. Chicago Bears have won 1 Super Bowl. Chicago has 2 baseball teams, the Cubs and the White Sox. Famous food. Hot dogs were made with cheap feeling meat. Deep dish pizzas were invented in 1943. You can find food from all over the world in Chicago. Famous Chicagoans. U.S. President Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton. Michael Jordan. People who should read this book are who want to travel to Chicago. Also, people who live in Chicago or near Chicago. Even used to learn about the past. Almost could be good if you're making a project of Chicago.